Now we come to the ninth sign of the zodiac, which is Sagittarius. So on your index cards, you want to put down Sagittarius, Jupiter being the planetary ruler, and the ninth house. And as an underline, you say it is fire, it is mutable, because it's the end of autumn, and it is yang. The best way to describe Sagittarius is in regards of the Scorpio depth of deep, deep, deep emotions. I always compare it like as if you would have been working like in the basement, cleaning the basement, going through the shadow land, things that are not overtly visible. So you've been all day like in this like kind of like basement thing. And then you're done, having realized and having seen and emotionally experienced the depth of your motives, of your agendas, and from that depth, you are walking up the stairs, opening the door, and you're coming into your garden. And you see the garden, you see the nature, you see the mountains, you see the sky. So Sagittarius is like the first time that consciousness, when we go from Aries through the zodiac, that it starts to rise into a perspective that is larger than oneself. And it feels in tune with a much higher and bigger consciousness, knowledge. When I say knowledge, I don't mean book knowledge. Book knowledge is no knowledge. Knowledge is without learning. So there's a knowledge that oneself is part of a much bigger consciousness, knowledge. And therefore one feels a kind of a paradox feeling. One feels absolutely blessed and important to be part of that, and yet at the same time so humbled, like a grain on a huge beach. And that feeling creates simultaneously, because from my perspective, it creates a synthesis of what Gemini loves to do. Gemini goes always in theses, antitheses. Yes, no, but. And Sagittarius, the opposite sign of Gemini, creates now a synthesis of my own importance and unimportance at the same time, which is the truth. But as I find myself now in this garden of creation, because Sagittarius correlates with nature, with the whole manifested creation of nature, with all its diversity of species, plants, everything there is. And one feels I am part of that. I am connected to all of that. We're talking about essential archetypes right now, not about a typical Sagittarius person. But that's the very essence. We're talking about the ingredients, remember. Right? The signs are like the ingredients of God, not the houses, not the worldly. But nevertheless, Sagittarius has that, being in tune with all of it. And as Sagittarius forms a sextile to Libra, there is the knowingness of that everything in the manifested creation is interrelated, that everything needs each other, that if just one grain would be missing, it would be not what it is. And with that kind of like inner knowledge, which is typical for Sagittarius, there is a deep sense that behind that manifested creation that I see, that expansion, like a sunny day in the Rocky Mountains, is just whoa, like when you're up in the mountain or you look at the mountain chain, like here from Calgary, you get that feeling of that behind the appearance of the manifested species, mountains, plants, trees, everything, behind all of that, beyond the horizon of what I can see with my physical eyes, lies a truth. And this truth must be of the most exquisite, most perfect, most beautiful, sound oneness.
Remember times without time.